When we think about important Vulcan characters in the Star Trek universe, we typically think of Mr. Spock, then maybe Ambassador Sarek. However, the Vulcan known as T'Pol was perhaps one of the most important, due to her serving on board the first human Warp 5 Exploration Starship, Enterprise, under the command of Captain Jonathan Archer. While we know the stories of T'Pol's time on board Enterprise, we don't know much about her future after the series ended. In today's video, we look at the fate of Captain T'Pol, and yes, that is a clue. Welcome to Trek Central, I'm your host, Captain Jack. Like always, if you want to keep up to date on the latest Star Trek news, lore, and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media for daily updates on the Star Trek universe. Okay, so we're enjoying making these Star Trek videos on various topics, but we really need your support to keep making them. Consider supporting Trek Central via Patreon using the link in the video description. This really helps us make new Star Trek videos while we're also combating Paramount's copyright and YouTube's copyright systems. You'll get exclusive access to videos and events as well as more Galaxy class rewards. If you have any questions about it, comment them down below and I'll personally answer them. As always, please do let us know your thoughts in the comment section below on this video topic, because if you're talking about Star Trek, then we want to hear about it. Okay, engage! In the Star Trek canon, we don't know much about the fate of T'Pol. The last we see of her is at the founding of the United Federation of Planets in 2161, but we do know more about her story. The following Star Trek information comes from what we call extended canon, which means items like books, comics, and more. Don't worry, we'll link the books we mentioned in a video description below, so you can read these fantastic stories for yourself. Following Enterprise's return from its mission to the Delphic Expanse, T'Pol officially accepted a Starfleet commission at the rank of Commander. With the outbreak of the Earth-Romulan War in 2155, Captain Archer sent T'Pol to Vulcan to convince T'Pau to bring Vulcan fully into the Romulan War. Unfortunately, T'Pol was unsuccessful in convincing the Vulcans to join the fight against the Romulans. However, she did start an investigation into secretive arms shipments. T'Pol would return and serve on Enterprise for the rest of the war. T'Pol's mission can be read in the Romulan War novel Beneath the Raptor's Wing. Now, following the formation of the United Federation of Planets in 2161, T'Pol would be promoted to the rank of Captain. She would assume command of a Columbia class known as the USS Endeavour. This starship was previously the NX-06 and would fight in the Romulan War, where it took heavy damage due to the Romulans' nuclear weapons. Following the end of the war, it was refit into the Columbia-class specification, otherwise known as the NX-Refit type. T'Pol would command the Endeavour and would frequently work closely with now Admiral Jonathan Archer. Given the status of the Endeavour and Enterprise being retired, Archer would choose T'Pol's command as his personal flagship. This saw the pair work together frequently on missions for the new Federation. In September 2162, Archer and T'Pol would travel on the Endeavour to the Chemisar colony. This was a Tandaran colony where the world had recently been raided by members of a Radal alignment, who actually posed as Suliban. While it did involve a brief fight, the Starfleet crew dealt with the attackers and rescued those who had been kidnapped. Following the conclusion of the mission, Endeavour's first officer, Commander Malcolm Reed, was promoted to captain and departed the ship to assume command of the USS Pioneer. As such, Commander Chief Ravache would take his place. In January 2163, T'Pol and Endeavour would respond to a distress call from an Anaxenari starship that had been attacked. Upon meeting the vessel, Endeavour would discover the silent attackers. This was the same mysterious species that Enterprise dealt with many years ago. T'Pol found herself in a similar situation. Thankfully, drawing on her past experience, Endeavour engaged the vessel and pushed it back. The encounter would be reported to Starfleet Command. Several more incidents would be reported to Starfleet over the following months. Typically, these were occurring in the same region of space. Many unaligned worlds would contact the Federation seeking help on the matter. To respond to the crisis, Starfleet dispatched a task force to the sector in which the USS Endeavour was assigned to. Following numerous engagements and the destruction of the USS Fijal, a war seemed all but inevitable. However, the crew of the Endeavour determined that Fijal's destruction was the work of Jula Garos and his Orion Syndicate allies. It seemed they were intent on pushing the Federation into a new war. Thankfully, the crisis was resolved peacefully. These events take place in the Enterprise novel, Rise of the Federation, A Choice of Futures. Unfortunately, the silent enemy would not stay silent for long. This is a series of events known as the Vertian Crisis. In April of 2163, Starfleet and the Federation were still operating their task force in searching for the silent enemy. They were known as the Vertians, but later in Star Trek history they would be known as the Alachi. Endeavour and T'Pol managed to disable a Vertian starship with several other task force vessels. Along with the other ship's away teams, Endeavour's crew boarded the vessel but could not secure it. Instead, they took prisoners and withdrew. Days later, the Vertians responded. A sizable task force intercepted and disabled the Allied fleet. The alien force would demand the surrender of all crews. In reality, the species actually wanted the return of their own crew, not the surrender of the Federation and the Allied forces. Admiral Shran, who was commanding the task force, ordered the prisoners to be released. Lieutenant Commander Hoshi Sato volunteered to accompany the Vertians back to their ships because she and Captain T'Pol had spent the prior days trying to communicate with their prisoners. T'Pol convinced Admiral Shran, who approved their plans, and eventually mind-melded with them, convincing them to stop their attacks. The task was completed and a ceasefire with the species was forged. November 2163 would see Captain T'Pol and the Endeavour dispatched to the Iota Pegasi system. This was to resolve a conflict between Tellar and the colonists of the ECS Vortrekker. They had colonised an asteroid in the Tellarite claimed star system. Thankfully, an armed conflict was avoided. This was thanks to Lieutenant Commander Hoshi Sato's suggestion of relocating the asteroid to the nearby Ross 271 star system. Both parties agreed, and once the relocation was complete, Endeavour and her crew departed. In March 2164, Endeavour would transport Admiral Archer and Commissioner Saval to Rigel for talks with the Rigelian Trade Commission. This was concerning the admission of a united Rigel world and colonies into the United Federation of Planets. T'Pol and Endeavour would play a role in ensuring this process went smoothly. Her ship and crew would later escort Archer to Babel Station in June to negotiate the specifics of the agreement. While discussions were taking place, T'Pol received news about the abduction of 2 Starfleet officers from Malcolm Reed's ship, the USS Pioneer, as well as the theft of secret files from Rigel's archives. Admiral Archer ordered T'Pol to assist Pioneer with its search efforts. These adventures take place in the Enterprise, Rise of the Federation novel, Tower of Babel. In 2165, it was alleged that the Vulcan Kishar was a fraud, and that Sarek's teachings actually endorsed the Vulcan High Command's militarism. As such, T'Pol and Endeavour would travel to Vulcan to assist in uncovering the truth. The starship almost fell victim to sabotage intended to destroy the Vulcan Space Central Station and spark an uprising. Thankfully, Endeavour survived due to the efforts of Chief Engineer Michael Romaine and Dr. Tobin Dax. T'Pol's crew played a vital role in exposing the attempted coup that former Vulcan administrator Velas was staging. While successful in stopping the attempted coup, it did cost T'Pol several of her own crew members. In 2186, at the age of 98, T'Pol had left Starfleet service and became an ambassador to the Federation. T'Pol would be living peacefully on Vulcan, at a family home, with Tucker and their 2 children, Tamir and Lorian. Yes, Charles Tucker III, aka Trip, is actually alive. Surprise! We've done other videos here on the Trek Central channel about Tucker's return, so you need to go and watch them to learn all about his fate in the Star Trek universe. We've seen T'Pol active in alternate universes, notably in Star Trek Lower Decks. In the episode Fisher Quest, we see T'Pol has joined the crew of the Anaximander, which is captained by William Boimler. She was a first officer and said to be an expert on human emotions after being married to Trip Tucker for 63 years. She was friends with a Trill Curzon Dax who suffered a major injury. With no other Trill on board to save the Dax symbiont, T'Pol took on his Cutcher in order to protect and pass on the memories of the Trill symbiont. When Beckett Mariner described Brad Boimler from her universe as a big Starfleet nerd, but she compared to Jonathan Archer, T'Pol agreed that this was an accurate description. Alright everyone, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into another Star Trek Enterprise character, then let us know who you would like us to explore next in the comment section below. Like always, if you want to keep up to date on the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can follow us on social media or join our community Discord server. A big thank you to everyone that supports us on Patreon. Your support allows us to continue making these Galaxy class videos. For now, I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time. Live long and prosper my friends, goodbye.